So I grew up actually in a liberal Methodist setting, which certainly not at all similar to the Westminster Confession and Presbyterianism. I was converted in college and eventually made my way into a PCA church. And that was my first exposure to Reformed theology and the Westminster Confession. So I started studying that in college. I still was a little unsure about everything, even as I was considering seminary. And in fact, I actually was choosing between a dispensational seminary and a Reformed Presbyterian seminary, and finally firmed up my convictions about that and ended up going to Reformed seminary. But even there, while I was in seminary, I found that I was drawn to some degree into the world of biblical scholarship, and I found that there was kind of an allure about that, it was a world that was not at all in harmony with confessional Presbyterianism and the Westminster Confession, and yet in God's grace, over time, a few years of study, I came to grow in my appreciation of Westminster standards. I really actually came to grow my appreciation of J. Gresham Machen. We often think of him as a systematician or a preacher or a churchman and those things. He was all of those things, but he was a New Testament scholar before he was any of those things. And that was actually a really big help for me, was to see someone who himself had gone through the world of modern biblical scholarship and had learned how to approach that from a confessional perspective. When I was doing my doctorate, actually, I really grew in my love for the Puritans, and I think that really enhanced my love for confessional Presbyterianism as well.